I think I know what this is. You see, Stan, as you get older, things that you used to like start looking and sounding like shit. And things that seemed shitty as a child don't seem as shitty. With you, somehow the wires have gotten crossed and everything looks and sounds like shit to you. It's a condition called being a cynical asshole.
Oh no.
Yes. And there's no known cure, I'm afraid. Everything just seems shitty and everyone starts to seem shitty and everything they...
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Yes, Mr. Sherman, everything stinks.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
Don't you understand, Steven? Somebody has to kill the babysitter.
I'm too old for this shit.
Mockery. Oh, Master! I do not trust you! I cannot trust you or anyone!
All we are is dust in the wind, dude. Dust. Wind. Dude.
Okay, they're talking about fictional characters. Fictional characters. Am I getting through to you at all?
Aim for the cat, dude. Aim for the cat. I'm trying, Evil Ted. I'm trying. Ah, just missed.
Kids with your loud music and your Dan Fogelberg, your Zima, hula hoops, and Pac-Man video games. Don't you see? People today have attention spans that can only be measured in nanoseconds.
You hate to do it, but at the same time, it's hilarious. Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Sith number 55. We are climbing up that numbers, and we are, of course, live not only here on the YouTubes, but we are also, I've got it properly set up this time over on Odyssey, so we're perfect pitch going on the proper video this time. And of course, we are live over on Rumble, so we've got 3 places well covered now. And I am your host, the Fractured Filter, as always, and with me, my co-host and friend and troublemaker in all this as well, Jay Hitman. Looking good today. How are you?
I just want to point out that my pronouns are Disney Seal and Hunter. See,
yes.
StreamYard has blessed us with this. What I think, is pronoun slot. I don't know. I was tuned into the spacing last night.
I heard. Yeah, I caught the replay this morning while getting work done at work.
Shout out to.
I heard you popped in.
I did, yeah. I was looking for you. I didn't see it, but I figured you're probably out gallivanting the streets, doing the good work. Probably getting a bar fight with some shill.
Indeed.
Because you always get into stuff without me, contrary to what
you seem to be. Yeah, and you too. We just seem to miss the tag team on all of it.
Just want to give a quick shout out to Fractured. He walked me through how to. I gave Malgus not. Well, a little bit of a revamp. Not that my main avatar is just probably my favorite, like the favorite photo I have of Malgus. But I thought, you did the little head bobbing thing. I thought Malgus would be, I didn't want to change my avatar, but shout out to Fractured. He did this editing, so I know everybody's sitting there looking at this like, oh my god, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It is.
All I did was merely cut out the mouth breather, and that was it.
Okay.
I found the image on Google. That's all I did.
So, coming at you. If only the rebreather in real life could smack Disney shills in the face as I try to knock sense into them.
You know, you can just lead the horse to the water, right? You can't make them drink.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm excited not for this episode. I kind of don't even really want to go over this episode because it was that bad. You know, you go from was this episode 9? Was this 9? Episode 9?
Yeah, episode 9. Yeah, we had 7 and 8 last week.
We go 1 through 6, which are just slower than mold growing.
Well, it wasn't even that they were slow; they were just all filler episodes practically. There was nothing there.
Boring, I guess, would be a better, in my opinion, would be just this dog water. I haven't used that word in. I haven't used that one in a while. These dog water episodes, and then we hit 7 and 8, which I mean, from I will agree. Well, I will say from a pacing standpoint, they were a lot better. But also I think I fell into the nostalgia trap because I see Sheev, which again, the Sheev of Disney, dare I say Disney canon, their canon, what they believe to be canon is not canon. So, but to see Sheev, I admit I was like reminiscent of a bygone era, and it is a bygone era, despite what people might think.
It is, but, unfortunately.
Yeah, 7 and 8, I think we're from, at least comparatively speaking, we're a lot better. I can't believe I'm saying that. I just showered. But then this episode, so like I don't get it. I don't get the now we're at 9, so we have another. Do the math here. 6 more. Is there 18? 16. Is there 16?
16, yeah. 16.
So 6 episodes, another 6. And where is Sid? Where, like, finally? I don't know. Sid.
She appeared towards the end at the end of this episode, basically. So.
Yes, for like. I tell you what. She's a snake in the grass. I called it. Well, I don't know if I actually called it on air, but she's a shyster. So one of two things are going to happen. One, she's going to do a bait
double cross them.
Well, she's going to do a bait and switch to pay off the Empire, or she actually cares and somehow
send somebody to help them. Yeah.
There's all in the, I love. I don't give Theory any of my money, but I do pop in there. I wish he would let this whole pay to thank goodness that Tim and Allura and Raging don't you be members to their channel, but thanks so much that they don't have force you to pay to comment. I think that's the most shystery thing you can do.
Oh God!
And
I've heard of some people
here's the
doing
thing.
That is some shystery shit.
I don't know.
Not even freaking Nick Arcada has people pay to make comments on his streams.
So,
he's known as he basically takes pride as being the grifting king.
Yeah,
so.
I don't have any issue. I don't know Theory on a personal level. I think he'd be a cool dude to talk to. Love him on the show, maybe, but he's a shyster because he does that.
And now
I think anybody. Listen, I'm not talking crap. It's a kid's show. I'm not besmirching the guy's name. I think he's a fine gentleman, but he's a shyster. At 100% a shyster. Who does that? You can suck.
Okay, so he has his stream live for everyone to see, but in order to comment, you have to.
Yeah, but here's the thing:
you might as well just make it just a pure members stream. Don't make it live or anything. Pure members stream for only those that are members to your channel, and do it that way. Otherwise, that is
there's no amount of showers. There's no amount of showers you can take to you're just at that point in time you're just a shyster. You're a shyster from the 5 boroughs, 100%. I don't just to your point. Don't even go have your own. And then he's he had a I don't know eye doctor appointment because he was streaming Force Unleashed 2, and so that's why I paused. I haven't played Force Unleashed 2, so I popped in, was watching him, and then. He's like, yeah, we're gonna have I gotta go to the eye doctor when I get back. We'll have a private chat, a private stream,
members.
So again, you're the YouTube guy. I basically you tell me what to lift and I lift it. But is there through YouTube are there if you can only see him go live if you're if you're a member?
So even when you're a member, yeah, I mean they'll have and I think that's only when you are a member. you'll see the members only streams. Otherwise, if you're just a subscriber, you might not. So it all kind of depends. I haven't really been a member of a lot of channels.
I haven't.
I've gotten some for free just by the fact of people buying multiple memberships and then it gets doled out to other people randomly in the stream. So I've gotten some that way, but it usually, like if you're not a member, it shouldn't show you the notification.
Because he's like, we'll have a private stream when I get back.
Right. So that'd be for like his members only sort of thing.
Where I was going with this before I went on this tirade of just shysterism was a lot of these people were commenting about, the episode and how this little, the guy, this creature guy, kid, whatever, was Hondo from Clone Wars stealing the ship. I'm like, I don't know if that's possible because I don't know the time, like the timeline, and it didn't even look like Hondo. But people thought yeah. So, but that's why I want to comment. It's like I want to comment, be like, "What are you like? Who are you looking at? Who are you looking at, guy? Like this is not Hondo.
No,
this guy has dreadlocks. He doesn't have like not even the same like.
No, they had
picture up.
I saw the character and I thought it was funny because I was like, they have like a weird ghetto version of Trunks from Dragon Ball Z. That's
you know who I'm talking about, right? Like I almost want to pull it up here, but I just don't get it, man.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you go 1 through 6, boy, and then you bring Duke, like you do and you don't kind of bring Duke, like Dooku is Castle de Dooku is referenced, right? And is not even referenced, like it's brought in, but you don't do anything about Dooku, but you go after Dooku's war chest, and then I don't even remember the other episodes, like the dude on the speeder bike. Oh yeah, who broke his femur? Was it Tech? Tech broke his femur and got amazing powers from Krypton. He got Superman powers.
Something like that, yeah.
And then we go to Mario Kart meets pod racing.
Yeah.
The pods. And then we see that Sid was actually having a love affair with Thanos with the Thornbeard.
Yeah, so this
where's Crosshair in this? Like I thought that Crosshair would have shown up in like 7 and 8. I know that we talked about that last time. Yeah, guy. It was like it's Hondo.
This is not Hondo.
What? So some people are thinking that Sid, like I've heard some people say that Sid sent this guy to steal their ship and going to sell the ship.
Strand them on this planet.
Yes, to sell the ship for credits because she's in deep apparently. But then they bring in characters like the Fee pirate girl who's not been in, and she was all in the just the Fallen Jedi episode, but she's bunked off somewhere. So like I don't.
Well, I mean that's gonna happen.
I think Joby Harold could probably do a better job writing this.
Well, this episode. Since we're going right into the episode, this episode was just basically. No. It's fine. It just was the episode of let's talk about our feelings, okay?
Like, bro.
That was the basically like the core premise of this episode was to discuss some feelings because they've got the female there that naturally they have to.
Can clones go through puberty?
Not necessarily. Well, I mean. Yes and no. Their aging is accelerated, so
do they just because this whole episode
they kind of skip a lot of the angsty years. So, but I mean, Omega is her being the genetic abomination that she is. She isn't quote unquote modified, at least for the accelerated aging aspect. So she is aging normally, kind of like Boba. So she isn't having, so she will get to experience probably the full range of puberty and all that jazz. I just want to give a quick shout out to Rumble. We got 3 people in there watching right now. Hello, everybody over there. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoy the show. But yeah, so being that she's quote unquote unmodified, That is possibly part of it, but like I said, the episode of feelings.
I just wanted to verify. Hold on.
What are you bringing up here? Human.
I just wanted to verify again to see if they changed anything.
Female
clone,
pronoun, she,
female,
her.
she. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right. I learned how to do the tab thing, by the way. I know you're sitting there impressed. So for everybody's watching, I learned how to do the tab, the singular tab.
All right.
Practice was like, and every time I'm trying to share a screen, he's like, nope, you're showing everything. You're showing the stream. You're showing everything. I'm like, I don't know what to do. So did a little research while he was filibustering over here. Figured out how to do this singular stream.
Absolutely, man. Hey, I you got full control over stuff, so by all means. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just it's like I don't know what's worse, watching this or watching the drama between Mon Mothma and her daughter and Perrin. Like I don't. And then like the people are coming out of the woodworks. Like I was watching there's like, oh, this is so beautiful because whatever he said about, like it shows you different.
I can't imagine what was considered beautiful for this episode in particular.
That they're like bonding, and it shows a side of Tech that nobody's ever seen.
But that was the thing is like she shows her own lack of not understanding these people that do have an individual identity, because like Tech is like I know you're gonna here's the thing. I know you're gonna hate the Star Trek reference, but he's basically Spock. Tech is basically like Spock. He's very pragmatic. He's all about.
Hold on.
He's just a good example for somebody that is logical and just very pragmatic. So he's very direct and also very direct in his speech. He doesn't cut corners with what he's trying to say to people. So he comes off as quote insensitive, but he's just making the point. And like that was all he was really doing, was just being he's just a realist basically.
Listen, I would never ever defend Star Trek. I think Star Trek is the most dog water. Listen, I'm the CEO of Dog Water Incorporated, so I can say this dog water thing. But do not put Spock into the same category as Tech. Like that's disrespectful. And I don't like Star Trek. Like I'm a Star Wars guy, but like that's a wee bit disrespectful. Spock is a lot better than Tech.
True. This is true, but I'm just giving an example of just kind of where that was
because he's the logical guy. He's incapable of having feelings because feelings aren't logical.
That's not he's incapable of having feelings. He just knows how to prioritize what he needs to be doing in a certain moment. And, in that moment, they needed to just kind of focus on surviving and getting out.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the interesting
Omega decided to focus on having a tantrum.
Here's the thing. Why does Omega, this might blow your brain. I just blew my own brain. Why, if they're all clones from the same genetic material, which was Django, and last time I checked, I don't really think Django was that sappy emotional, right? Why is there such a difference between Omega and Tech if they're the same clone? Like,
well, that was the whole point of Clone Force 99. They are modified clones to be different in certain aspects. So that's the reason why they're different. Certainly between Omega.
How you spell
Omega, like I said, Spock.
Okay.
Hi there, Brandon Tran. Welcome to the stream. No, I have seen that gameplay. We might talk about that a little bit later, and I'll give my thoughts on it for Jedi Survivor.
You need to mark this down as a day that goes down in history that I just defended Star Trek.
Oh my God. Yeah. So it was probably about 2:58 p.m. February 18th, 2023. J Hitman defended Star Trek.
What's happening to me? I think I'm just getting older. I'm just getting old.
Age does have a weird way of messing with us sometimes, doesn't it? But then, so I mean, basically this episode, I just kind of laughed when they first got to the place too, because I'm like, one of my notes was I thought that it looked like they were going into a fallout shelter from or a vault from the video game series Fallout. That's why when I saw it, I'm like, they're just going into a vault from Fallout. What the hell? But yeah, this was like the episode of dealing with quote unquote loss about Echo.
Yeah.
And again, we're kind of seeing Sid is really not a very good business Trandoshan at all.
Or it just not even written like.
Well, it's like she apparently buys his mind and is practically empty. And the only reason they happen to have found it was thanks to the storm, that basically them having to escape Lion King style into an area after the storm.
Did you ever watch Storage Wars?
Where I have not watched it, but I know what the whole
the concept where you go and you buy a storage unit and you
bid on storage units and see whether or not you get anything good out of it.
This is literally Sid. This whole episode was just like Storage Wars meets Lion King. Like, I'm gonna buy this vault that may have Ispium, Lipium, like whatever. I've never heard of it. And then we have a cut to a scene of Lion King, which have PTSD from. And then like,
I mean, that was basically what it was. It was just basically freaking
everything's Rucker's fault. So next time, if I'm ever late to work, I'm gonna be like, it's Rucker's fault.
I mean, it's so funny though. I like, how can you not get any more?
You know what's funny? What's really funny? You can't, like, we sit here and talk about this, but like, you can't really expect anything less. I mean, my goodness, they came up. Disney. I mean, Lion King's a Disney show. It's a Disney movie, so why not? I mean, and
right.
Whether Filoni's on I don't, whatever capacity he's, how do I want to say it? Whatever capacity he holds in this show, like, it's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like, this panda is dirty. This panda is just filthy, covered with just oozing. Ugh.
Well, and what's been the most hilarious thing about a lot of this too is like Omega is this little singularity of oh god, what was it? Like coincidences and stuff like that, or just happens to just convenience of finding like certain things, and
he's
also just
sensitive.
Don't start that.
We've talked about this. All the coincidences that you're talking about. It's like,
for supposedly a lot of these series wanting to get away from Jedi still happen to become quite a thing.
Well, you know why? It's the only thing. It's a money grab. It's the only thing they've got. Listen, mock my words. They're gonna. I would not be surprised if they make her force sensitive, or she becomes a Jedi in Bad Batch season 3. Could be wrong. Probably am wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised. And Gunji's not done. Gunji is not done with this episode because Gunji is a beloved character.
Reappearance?
I think so. I'm probably wrong, but I have a strong feeling. Why bring like that whole Kashyyyk? That's dumb. That, like, it makes no sense. So I think that she's force sensitive, and we're gonna get a Bad Batch season 3. And there's like, she's gonna turn out to be force sensitive, and then there's gonna be this whole story arc about we're gonna now have, guys, listen. You think it's crazy? Was there not a Mandalorian that was a Jedi in canon?
In true canon, yes.
So it's really not that far off if you think about it.
I'm not saying it isn't. It's just we don't need another.
But they can't do anything else. And how do you explain all these coincidences? All these times where she just so happened to be
poor writing
proficient at weapons.
Poor writing? I don't know.
Well, yes, but her weapon, like, weapons proficiency. That's probably not a really good example.
I was gonna say she has not exactly demonstrated tight accuracy with her bow. Like she gets shots here and there.
Her intuition though, like her and then the whole gambling thing. You can make the argument when what is the game that Chewie and Luke were playing? New Hope. What is it? It's like the Star Wars versions of checkers. Yeah. What is it actually called?
I don't know what it's actually called at the moment.
But it's like, where she's basically Sid uses her and she's cleaning house. It's like an episode of it's like an episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where Uncle Phil comes in and loses one round of the Will loses his car and Uncle Phil comes in and he's playing pool with the guy, and the guy's like, I tell you what, I bet you I'll give you your car back if you can beat me in pool. He's like, I don't know, I'm not a really good player. And he loses the first game, and then after he's like, Jeffrey, break out Lucille, and he breaks out his cool and he just
I think I remember that episode. Yeah,
and he just runs the table and takes the guy, for all that he's worth, and then more. But I don't know, man. How do you explain it? Like, yeah, they're probably not smart enough to do it, but again, like I wouldn't be surprised. This is terrible.
No, it
writing.
wouldn't surprise me.
And like I said, it's like, well, if a Mandalorian can be a Jedi in Legends, then we could probably do it now because she may not be from she might not be like, a Mandalorian, but she's from a man. She's a genetic, whatever you call it, recreation or replication of Jango, who was a Mandalorian. So in Disney canon, so they say.
So they say.
I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you think it's wrong?
I just hope not, because I don't want we don't need any more Jedi running around, especially after Order 66. They should all be basically dead and hiding. If anything, they need to be gone.
So
this would be the perfect timeline to have people that are non-force sensitive, that are having some interesting stories and stuff like that. But
you don't think she's gonna be force sensitive?
I'm hoping not.
Your unbiased opinion.
It wouldn't surprise me if they decided to, but I'm hoping that they actually show a little restraint.
This is what I think. This is what I honestly think is going to happen. Okay, I think that she becomes force sensitive, and through Gunji's help, she becomes a Jedi, and then Gunji and her go get married.
Good Lord. That's just wrong. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me coming from Disney, but
listen, your favorite character from Book of Boba is a Jawa Slayer. Like you sit here and think I'm crazy. And then she left the Jawas and went to Pigtails. Or Pigtails, Pretty Tails.
Yeah.
So real quick, this irritated. So I wanted to say that. So to be honest, Bad Batch could have just locked
the Marauder.
Crosshair needs to be, yeah. Here's the thing, though. I thought that sat there and like, why do they not?
Well, that was my question too when they landed the ship, and then the little
where's their key fob?
Like it was just like for having somebody like Tech on board and stuff like that, who's supposed to be a tech genius, you'd think he would have encrypted a better system of security for their ship than what some little Junkrat was able to apparently bypass and steal their ship.
It's like if you and I go downtown in a city or a state or province that we don't live in, are we gonna like not lock our car? This is the dumbest thing ever. I'm like, this is just lazy.
Yeah, that was again
convenience.
Yeah, they had to set up a reason for them to be trapped on the planet for
it's
whatever.
So stupid. It's so stupid. It's like it's lazy writing. You can't come up with anything else. Then, well, we're just not gonna lock our starship and on a planet that we're not from.
Yeah, and just because it doesn't seem inhabited doesn't mean it isn't inhabited. So it's like they completely let their guard down. So much for a special ops group.
Why? Oh, would Delta Squad do that? You think?
I don't think so. No.
Enough not to lock.
They probably would have. They probably would have had a set of traps and stuff like that around their ship on top of it.
That shit, their ship. They probably would have their ship booby trapped.
Yeah, probably.
So
But
yeah.
Also, Crosshair needs more time in season 2. We've barely seen him. That has been the kind of funny thing. You'd think they were going to have a little more focus on him, especially with that episode of his that they had. But we already got rid of Rampart. So what's going to be the deal there? Because that seemed to be the little driving force between those two was, what Rampart was onto when it came to knowing Clone Force 99 was still alive and he had Crosshair right there. So it was kind of like, well, what are we going to do? But we aren't getting that. Not yet, at least. Hopefully there's something, but for now, it just seems to be a mood issue.
What happened? Okay, so this might be a dumb question. Do you think we get a little bit of Crosshair in season 2, or do you think they have a season 3 and that's when everything's going to go down? Because I don't see how they can do. I don't see how they've spent 9 episodes and the story's barely progressed, like on a consistent scale. Like that's not the right word. On overall picture of the season, like the story is not progressed. Really, we've had more filler episodes than anything.
We've had nothing but filler episodes. That's the problem.
Some people can argue that 7 and 8 weren't filler.
No, 7 and 8 weren't filler, but in 1 and 2 maybe were kind of story-ish, but just didn't feel that way.
Not really, because nothing happened. Nothing happened with the war chest.
It was just set up.
I mean, I guess they don't. If you're a Star Wars fan, you don't really. Well, you know what happens to Dooku, so I guess you don't really have to. But like, I think 1 through 6 absolutely filler. There's no reason for the story about Tech breaking his femur. War chest.
The weird goofy pod race episode.
I mean, that's dumb. Why? What purpose does that serve other than, again, nostalgia? And it's not even really nostalgia. Like, it gives off the whole racing feeling, which, obviously Phantom Menace, but
that was for the member berries all the way.
Again, this I can't even believe I'm saying this. I think season 1 was better than season 2 so far from a progression standpoint.
Yes, I'd have to agree with that.
There
was a lot of dumb stuff in season 1, but they at least had they were kind of building the story and everything around the Bad Batch a little better than what's been going on with this, and it felt like they had less filler episodes in season 1 than they have in season 2 so far.
And you say it all the time. It's like, when I bring up the fact that, like, oh, well, the graphics are better or the CGI is better, and then, like, you say, well, it's really not a compliment, because as time goes on, that technology should improve no matter what.
It's more of like them staying consistent with it, and over time they should keep that consistency because they know how to use it. It shouldn't be faltering that often, and they should. And if anything, it should only be looking more smooth and crisp and stuff like that. There shouldn't be a faltering in that side of quality of the way the show looks and stuff. So that's been my point there. And I don't give them kudos for it, because this is basically the same sort of design look and everything from the Clone Wars. So naturally, it's gonna look good after all this time that they've put into
I was gonna say
updating and changing and stuff like that and perfecting their system.
I was gonna say, were there different phases of clones? Like, I mean, like, I understand, like, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, but like, phases meaning, like, from I don't know if the generational is the right word. Here's where I'm going with this. Like, so, like, the older generation, grandparents, great grandparents, like, from an emotional standpoint, I'm not saying they weren't emotional, but they struggled showing it. Like, my grandpa, struggled showing it. My dad struggled showing it. I, somewhat a little bit better, but still struggle with it. Like, and then throughout the generation, it seems like it becomes, I guess, easier to be more sensitive and emotional. And I just wonder if it's like this with the show, like, the first clones, are they just they're all about following orders, they're battle hardened, they're ready to go, and then, like, these clones get more, like, sensitive because, like,
I think the only reason for, I mean, it depends on what clones you're referring to, but I mean, for Clone Force 99, they are meant to be designed differently for the regs as they put them.
Yeah,
they're just meant to be, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. So there isn't meant to be a big difference. Yes, and then as they go out, they experience different things. They were with certain Jedi and stuff like that, so maybe some of that kind of rubbed off on them. But I mean, they are meant to be battle hardened and just well disciplined soldiers that are meant to follow orders. And like it was until the stupid chip thing came along, they had the option for some to kind of question and go, well, that sounds a little weird, but others were gung-ho and we are following these orders one way or another. So
the chip is just the dumbest thing ever.
Oh, I agree.
The dumbest, laziest. Ugh.
It was that excuse because they had been bringing in all these different clones and giving them different personalities, and so then they wanted to alleviate the guilt and responsibility possibly that people would have towards certain clones that were following those orders. So they had to make it that they were forced to follow those orders and they had no choice. It's stupid. Like I said, it's all just to kind of save a weird face on it and give people still able to have their favorite clone troopers and stuff like that without going, but they tried to kill them. Because apparently they just can't reconcile with that.
I was curious.
For this goofy episode, like I said, like we talked about the security of the ship, their whole going into the caves and stuff like that. And it was funny, they first are transporting this stuff in a very uber case. And then later when Omega is drilling for some that she conveniently found, they just have him in those vials just hanging out in her little knapsack thing. It's like, oh, so where's the precaution you guys had before?
Yeah.
But we already said at the start of talking about this episode is that this was the episode of feelings. And this was also for Omega and Tech to get a little closer, like you said, their time to bond, which what they had set it up between her and Echo before he left, which I think I know why he left now. But then once they find their way out of that cavern that they got trapped in, thanks to the storm that they were being chased by. It's just like then they find the village or spaceport they were looking for
with nobody around,
which was abandoned apparently. But they were able to then get their signal out to contact Sid at least, and she didn't seem to be quite so helpful. My note was I was like, nothing like the power of guilt to get some help out of Sid, because it seemed like they kind of got through to her. But then I just why do you keep dealing with her? Right. Why? You could be out on your own, traveling the galaxy. You don't need to hang out on Ord Mantell or wherever they are. Don't need to stay there. You can leave anytime. It's ridiculous. And it is I'm not they sure.
Need her.
And I'm not sure if this is going to be another two-parter or not, or if they're just going to suddenly move on from this. I don't know, but it's so my last note was, so either this was another two-parter or that is legit the end of this story. And we should have just gotten, the 2 episodes.
I think they were talking on Theory's channel that there's going to be a 2-parter. I don't know. That's what I heard, but
Should have just gotten the 2 episodes out of the way, man.
Gotten it out. I think I heard that the next episode, so next week we're supposed to get 2. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I don't think so.
No, I could have been wrong, but
I think it's still just the 1. So, let's see. Brandon Tran back in with if Delta Squad did the mission in Bad Batch season 2 episode 9, then
Fixer and Scorch would have made sure no smugglers stole their ship while Boss found Sid's treasure. Yeah, exactly. That would have been the most likely scenario for that.
Yeah. So I don't know. What was I gonna? Oh, yeah, that's what I was gonna pull up. I don't know if we had. I mean, so is there anything else we need to go over this just stupid episode?
No, not in particular. I mean, the episode was at least pretty done once it did happen. We didn't have anything else to really put ourselves through for that episode. It was just like it is the episode of feelings, and it just kind of had their contrivances of, they had to find their way to that outpost. They had to get stranded there apparently, and like it was Omega who luckily finds the stuff that maybe they didn't fail a mission for once after all their other failure missions.
They did fail though.
No, they got some of the resources
did they?
They had like 4 or 5 vials of what was mined, and they only used one to shoot their way out to explode open and leave the cavern. So technically no, but they did lose their ship. So, and Sid might send help or might send Imperial trouble their way. Who knows? I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. Because I mean, the next episode 10 is called Retrieval. So I can only guess that means, they'll be retrieved or something else will be retrieved. Who knows? We'll find out.
Well, we'll see. Hold on here. Do you want to play this one, or do you want me to try to play it? So there is something I want to go over, and I just to get our thoughts. Like I think I wanted to go over it before I tuned into this facing because I didn't know Tim, and then we're going to talk about it. But where is it at here? Stand by.
Do you have it in the Discord chat? Or?
Yeah, it's Liam Neeson. I have the clip pulled up that I want to
play.
Play.
Yeah, I have that too.
Do you have the interview on Andy Cohen?
Yeah.
Okay. So I
have it right at the time mark too.
Ah, beautiful. Because I just saw it. It's like, oh dear, 4 minutes 44 seconds. I don't know.
No, I went right to because I wanted to grab this too.
Well, see, great minds think alike. See, this is why we do the show together, because we're on the same page. I want to go over this because I think it's very, very interesting, and I've heard a lot of people kind of go back and forth on this, like, oh, he was joking, or no, he was serious. Like,
I
I want to get your thoughts on it, and I'll give my thoughts because I personally think. Well, we can watch the clip and then let's just do that.
Let me know if you can hear it or not.
When you reprised your role,
can you hear it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Did you?
I mean, I love his response, dude. Just like he throws his hands up, and they're like, "God damn it! Why am I being asked about this?"
Go back, rewind it, where before he does his.
Kenobi. Did you ever think that?
Yeah, he's like
he's just kind of tired of it.
You know what's so funny about this? It reminds me of Harrison Ford. He was I don't know where he was at, but he was going on stage and they were playing his music. It's like, this music follows me everywhere. This damn music follows me everywhere. And Steven Spielberg is there laughing, and I don't know if Lucas was there, but like that's kind of his reaction. Is like, everywhere I go, somebody either wants to talk about Taken or Star Wars. Nobody wants to talk about Les Miserables. Les Miserables.
Yeah.
Yes, Les
Miserables.
Yeah, Les Miserables. Sorry, French is a little rusty. I think more so people probably talk about Star Wars than Taken, but yeah, he's just like, his reactions like, are you like, so people are like, is he joking? Oh, he's joking. And clearly he wouldn't do that on live television. He wouldn't say that.
But I think what he says is a little bit on point too, but with a little caveat there. But hang on.
happen? And are you interested in doing your own spinoff on Disney Plus?
No, I'm not. There's so many spin-offs of Star Wars. It's diluting it to me, and it's taken away the mystery and the magic in a weird way, you know. It was nice to do the little bit with Ewan after 25 years, 24 years, you know. Did a TV version. And
I think it's just for one, it's this kind of the aspect of he's not big on television.
Well, you know what's funny,
but I think he has a good point, at least in terms of like the media side, like the movie and stuff like that side for Star Wars. But at the same time, it's like, you know, we've had like the expanded universe, the books, the comics, which helped flesh out a lot of extra things. I just also think it comes down to we've gotten this too much crap. But also, the thing is that in terms of like movies and stuff like that, people were more used to not a sporadic, but like a more stretched out timeline of the content that they would get for the movies. Yeah. Because even between episodes 4, 5, and 6, there is a gap in between, like at least a good 3-4 years or whatever. And then same with, you know, the prequel trilogy. There is a little bit of breathing room between each of those episodes of 1, 2, and 3. So it gave people time to appreciate it. While now it is diluted in the television and movie world, just because they kept trying to match with the Marvel Cinematic Universe and how often they were pumping things out. But I mean, look what that's done to that aspect of everything. And while again, like media projects and stuff like that for the expanded universe for Star Wars was also, I would say, a little more stretched out here and there. And it was for the special diehards that really wanted to get this, while the bigger, wider casual audience got, you know, they're the ones that are just feeling oversaturated with a lot of it.
Well,
hey, Sentinel, he says either I'm tripping balls or you two got some weird Avatar stuff going on. Yeah, we took a page from Tuscan Bob, Greg. We took a page from him and decided to get start making moving avatars. So there's a little more going on the screens than just two little circles talking at each other.
But instead of having one singular intro video, we have our two videos where you're fighting and then I'm destroying Zen Wallow. So here's the thing. So when he said that you know, is diluting it and takes away from the mystery, like I agree. And this is the point I want to make. So take Kenobi, for instance, the Kenobi book, despite how I might feel about John Jackson Miller right now, like the book in itself is an amazing book. And it's amazing because there's many times, as you know, when we were reading it, that, you know, he's talking to Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan's talking to Qui-Gon and he's not getting a response. So imagine if John Jackson Miller took the Disney approach to where Qui-Gon had mastered, or what, you know, like, I don't know how I want to say it, but imagine if Qui-Gon had appeared to Obi-Wan multiple times, like, you know what I mean? It would take away from mystery. Yeah, it would take away from it. And so, like, I agree with Liam. My thoughts are, I think Liam is irritated because, I mean, he probably, and this is subjective, but I think everywhere he goes, he probably gets questioned about it. And two, do you remember the show I forget what episode it was, but we went over a comment that he made. He's like, about asking him if he would come back to Star Wars, and he was like, you know, only if it went to the big picture.
Right. Yeah. He had an interview where he talked about where it would only be if it was a movie.
Right.
The movie tier sort of thing instead of just on television. But he did the television thing, like he mentions in this thing, because of Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, and which is interesting too, because and I can say this with full confidence as an Irishman, we hate the Scots, so I don't know what kind of relationship. I mean, that's just that bastard's from Scotland, the Scotland Highlands. So I don't know what kind of relationship they have. No, but yeah, he came back from like a two-liner, and probably got paid.
Yeah, it took you long enough. Basically, it's like, what the freak?
Yeah,
kept you waiting, huh? I mean, that's what it might as well have been.
The quickest payday and the worst 2 lines that you.
I mean, I can only hope that paycheck was banging. So
he wouldn't. Yeah, he's not gonna fly from his home in Ireland down to L.A. behind the rock crushing plant where they filmed Kenobi to say 2 lines are free. But no, I agree. It takes away the mystery. Like, can you imagine if he like just showed up multiple times in that book, it would take away the element, and it would ruin it, in my opinion. Like,
well, and also kind of it removes the anticipation, because there is like an anticipation of like, oh, is Qui-Gon gonna speak to him at all?
Right. Go through the whole. I mean, multiple. Every time he talks to Qui-Gon, you're wondering, like, is Qui-Gon gonna show up?
Yeah, is he gonna give him some words of advice or anything like that? Nah.
Yeah, because he could, right? But imagine if he showed up as a Force ghost, like it would just ruin the whole book. And like I said, in my opinion, so I think from the mystery, and it is diluted, man. Everybody's doing. There's spinoffs every single.
Well, there's always something being announced, and then it immediately goes away, and it's just
like this is the same. Like this is the same. These people. This is coming from the same people that are going to do a show, Skeleton Crew. Like the dumbest thing I've ever read in my life. Like, from a story, the dumbest story, and then we just got a glimpse of what it's going to be about. It's just the dumbest thing. Yeah. But this is what we're doing. This is where we're going. Like I love Greg, where he says, Mando season 3, Mando sits in a bathtub.
Mando takes a bath. Yeah.
Mando go takes a bath.
Yep.
Sorry, Greg.
What was it? He was saying on the spacing last night was, this Mando adoptive father takes his kid to a bathhouse.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God, he's right, but yeah, he knows how to really just cut into it. I was like, God dang, man.
Yeah. There are many things that Greg says that Tim won't even repeat. So, but no, I mean, again, like, this is just, like, I think he's on point.
Absolutely.
So I just thought, it's really interesting, and just wonder, like, I sit here and I wonder after that interview, I kind of wonder, is like, did Disney reach out to him multiple times did they reach out to him multiple times to see if he would come back sooner than he did, or was Disney just planning on just a 2 line? I mean, he's one of the biggest actors out there, right? And you're gonna just bring him back for a 2-line
thing, and that's it.
Like, I wonder if they reached out to him. He's like, absolutely not. And I say this because
unless it meets this certain criteria,
Well, I think he probably did it because of Ewan.
Brandon Tran here. Liam Neeson probably came back as a Force ghost for Obi-Wan for the last Obi-Wan episode just to support Ewan. Lore-wise, it breaks Qui-Gon telling Yoda he couldn't appear as a Force ghost in Clone Wars season 6. Also in the, I believe.
But what's your favorite saying? What are they? They are consistent.
They're best consistent at being inconsistent with their own lore and stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely.
No, I think he probably came back just for Ewan.
When he says it right there in that little interview thing. So
I mean, yeah. But I mean, on a deeper level, my gut tells me that Disney probably reached out to him multiple times. Like Deborah.
It's possible. It's possible.
And you think about that, like, if anything could have, nothing's going to be able to save Kenobi, but if anything could have given it a fighting chance or given it a little bit like life support, probably would have been to bring Qui-Gon back in some type of capacity, more than just a 2-liner. And I think he probably was like, no, I'm not going to do it. Like, put me on the big screen or not. Or he probably watched him like, this is terrible. Maybe he's a Star Wars fan.
It wouldn't have helped it. It would have just further broken their own stuff. But I mean, it could have been
helping from the perspective of like people actually tuning in and watching it.
Yeah, and that's where, like, again, this is kind of funny that I'm kind of like my problems with the Spider-Man Homecoming movie.
Is that with the Falcon? With Falcon? No, not Falcon. Who did?
It was the one where it was the first Marvel Sony pair up movie.
Yeah,
and that was where he's
Michael
fighting
Keaton,
the Vulture. The Vulture.
The Vulture, not Falcon.
And so again, where you had Peter buried under rubble, I would have thought it was a great moment to get the words of his uncle Ben, with great power comes great responsibility. And again, we had in freaking Obi-Wan during his that second fight with freaking Vader, after he got pwned the first time, but then later he comes back dressed in the Jedi robes and everything. But he again is buried under rubble, and he again finds his inspiration from Leia. But if they had instead done it where he got maybe some words of wisdom or something from Qui-Gon there, or again, a flashback of the two of them, have like a kid, somebody stand in as a young Obi-Wan having a lesson from Qui-Gon sort of thing. That could have been like another reason to have Liam Neeson back and doing that part and everything. But again, it's like missed opportunities, and we end up writing stuff better for them than they would have put together than what they put together.
I'm still irritated about that. I forget who posted it. But like where Obi-Wan basically flips over his lightsaber and just crushes his nightlight box on his chest.
Oh God.
And I'm like, why would you not just stab him through the heart? Because crushing it's gonna, prevent him from living. That's basically his life support. So instead of just killing him brutally, I'm just gonna
instead of just ending him
right then and there.
Finally, knowing that you've ended him. Now I'm gonna go with a what if possibility.
They literally just did it because it looked cool flipping the lightsaber in the sand. That's the only reason why they did it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Ugh. Like, could he have stopped the Emperor right then and there? No. You're not gonna stop Sheev. You're not gonna stop Sheev.
You could have stopped Vader at least.
Yeah, but again, the argument
nah.
like, yeah.
I'll leave you alone. You can go back to your empire and do your villain.
My brother, he said that we got into this. We talked about this years ago, but we were on the argument of like, well, why didn't Obi-Wan just kill him? And I had made the comment that I was like, well, if I had been Obi-Wan, I would have just done what I did. And did you know apparently Obi-Wan did like 3 different moves when he cut off when he did there's an actual like move he did
when
he cuts when Anakin tries to jump over him, he does like
he cuts off his other he cuts off his hand, he cuts off his legs. I mean, he goes the whole 9.
But it was like a if you slow the frame down, you can see him do 3 different slashes in one move. And I didn't know that. Like, I obviously knew he did it, but I didn't know he did. I thought it was just like one motion. No, there's 3 different precise moves that he did when he jumped over. But my brother and I were talking about it, and I was like, well, I don't know why he just didn't kill him. He was like, what do you mean? Like, he was like slipping into the lava. I was like, yeah, well, I would have just force pushed him in the lava after I did that. He's like, wait, you mean to tell me if you and I were fighting and you did that to me, you would force push me in the lava? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. He's like, dick. Yeah, make sure the job's done, man.
I mean, yeah, if you're wanting to end somebody, hey, what better than a lava pool right there behind you, right? That's pretty definitive death.
But yeah.
Pixel Joker 95 made an Obi-Wan fan cut movie, Trials of the Masters, the Obi-Wan movie we should have gotten. Interesting.
Let me write this down. Pixel Joker 95.
I mean, that's I mean, I don't know what happened there.
I was like, about to just filibust.
I don't know what happened there, but I apparently kicked myself out.
Usually I'm the one who's kicking myself out.
But I mean, I can only that's definitely the work of trying to polish a turd into something good.
I mean, here's the thing. I'm biased.
But I mean, I remember
Script Troopers doing it.
Well, true. Script Trooper is performing God's will. But I remember also Ivan Ortega, who's part of Geeks and Gamers and everything. He was attempting to do a fan edit, or he did do a fan edit of The Last Jedi, which I've only looked at bits and pieces, but I just can't rewatch that movie, even if it is edited. I can only hope he did a good job. I remember seeing how he trimmed up the little back and forth between Poe and Hux in like the beginning of the movie to make it less stupid, and he definitely did that. But I can't watch that movie. I just can't.
Yeah,
not knowing what happens in it, action in the Disney canon, this is like no. Sorry.
Amount of money you could give me to rewatch that movie.
And I don't know. I mean, if this picks from what Brendan Tran posted in here, I don't know if I'd want to attempt any kind of rewatching of anything with involving that freaking Obi-Wan show. Good Lord. That just about ended me.
If Sentinel watches it, then we have to watch it. We'll see though. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know.
Here we could there's this person has a trailer. I guess we can it's a little 20-second trailer. Should we check it out?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. Okay, let's see this.
Where is he?
I guess I have another. That was just kind of a. I mean, I just saw.
What do we watch?
Trials of the. Okay, so here's.
It's been 10 years. I'm not who I used to be.
That was an interesting little edit of Luke there.
Yeah.
The fight is done. We lost.
I
cannot help what they are.
So I the still keeping the defeatist attitude of Obi-Wan though, I'm just not for, because that wasn't how he was walking away in Revenge of the Sith.
Right.
He's walking away with hope. Because he had Luke in his arms, and it hit between him and Yoda. They'd already, that was the hope that they were going to be walking into. I agree with. I can't accept Obi-Wan saying it. He's not defeated. He's determined. Yeah. That was what he was.
Their compassion leaves a trail.
Master Qui-Gon.
Looks like there's been some added effects on these guys.
Yeah.
You still want Kenobi. He's gone. Stay hidden.
Still think he's Wong from.
They could have made the guy look more like a zombie than anything.
Is he?
Oh, wait, is this supposed to be like World Between Worlds?
Bro.
No. Oh.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you?
Well, this is a fan. Remember, this is a fan trailer, so this is somebody's putting together of their own idea. It's like Script Trooper trying to. It's like Script Trooper trying to rewrite.
Except
Force Awakens and everything.
War Between Worlds.
Probably not. See, yeah, Sentinel, exactly. Luke and Leia are what give him hope. It's what he is living for and looking towards. Goddamn World Between Worlds.
When the time comes, he must be trained. Like you trained his father. You couldn't save Anakin. Move on. Be done with it. One last fight. There is a Jedi hiding on this planet.
Okay, so it looks like. Hang on, I just gotta go back really quick because at least it looks like here. Where was it? They tried to put the ship. They kind of like. Where was it? God dang it! It's not. Oh, let's just finish this up.
Anakin.
That name means nothing. Master.
Again, it just still conflicts with the actual lore. I understand what the person's trying to do, and I wish the best on trying to accomplish it, but oh yeah, so like about here, they're trying to actually have that transport ship be right there instead of the snow speeders, it looks like. Yeah, so kind of showing more of that than just the snow. Yeah, I mean, again, best of luck trying to make that into something watchable. It's still too much. It's still keeping the damage that was done to Obi-Wan's character, and yeah, no, I mean, I'll check it out when it's finished. Maybe
I won't.
Otherwise, no. That you're still keeping their damaged Obi-Wan version, and not the actual Obi-Wan that we know. And again, it looks like you're still keeping the confrontation between them. You're still trying to work within Disney's lore. It's a tough thing to do. I mean, there's at least some improvements to some of the designs and stuff here or there, but you still got Reva. I don't know what you're gonna do with her. I mean, other than it looks like he
survive a lightsaber to the gut.
Well, it looks like they put in the Grand Inquisitor being the one that rescued her, because it looked like he was showing him standing over her, I'm guessing, because it looked like he was in the white Jedi Guardian gear that was in the Clone Wars. I'm only guessing. Yeah, so like right. right here. So that's my only guess, is that it's trying to he's trying to kind of rewrite that a little bit. But hey, that was at least something kind of interesting to check out.
Yeah. On to the next article.
What were you wanting to jump into next, good sir? Like it is, we've certainly got the topics to cover.
Let's see. So that was that one. Let's do that one. That's what I post. Yeah. Should we hit this? Did we do this one last week?
Which one?
Favreau.
No, actually, that was something you recently posted.
Yeah, there's that one. Donkey water. Then we do this one too. The one that you posted. That's convenient. Both about storytelling. Well, not really storytelling, but there's that one. We got the announcement.
Yeah, so this will be probably just a quickie too.
Which one?
Yeah, so seems both John and Dave were getting their interviews out this week. So Jon Favreau reveals why the Mandalorian and Grogu had to reunite, mainly because Grogu sells. Let's see. It's ironic Disney put more money and time for Andor than Kenobi and Book of Boba Fett. Well, you had their character Andor, and then you had pre-established characters like Boba and Obi-Wan, which they will do everything and anything they can to deconstruct and destroy in whatever way possible. And there are characters they don't want to focus on. They want to focus on their own characters that they're creating. So, but yeah, so had to reunite in Book of Boba Fett. We couldn't just hit a hard reset. But you guys were writing this and setting this all up. I thought you had a plan, man. That was the whole point.
Yeah.
At the end of Mandalorian Season 2, fans were left with boundless questions. Since Pedro Pascal's dim jarhead had just handed baby Grogu over to none other than Luke Skywalker for the little green guy to undertake Jedi training. What did this mean for the show? What was that the end of Grogu's story? Would the rest of the Mandalorian follow another narrative? Would it totally reboot and follow? Why would you? And this is what's been brought up, is that that would have been the perfect time. Okay, you got rid of the stupid rat. Now let's focus on what the show was originally, advertised as, which was getting to see the more seedier side of the Star Wars universe. We were going to get to see bounty hunting and stuff like that. Could have seen Dim Jarhead possibly in his element instead of being babysitter in space.
Yeah.
Instead, they so in the Book of Boba Fett, we checked in with Grogu and Mando on their separate paths and ultimately got to witness their reunion after Grogu chose to forego the Jedi destiny with Luke in favor of a life with his Mandalorian dad. Yeah, and they were talking about this on the space thing. It was like, of course he bunked off. You only spent what, like a day throwing all these lessons at the little bastard instead of incrementally teaching. You just we're like, all right, here you go. You just spammed a bunch of lessons and you expected the little shit to take all this in for a supposed 50-year-old little creature that was apparently already at the Jedi temple on top of it, but apparently Ahsoka didn't know about her either. So, or it, whatever, him, who cares?
So stupid.
makes no sense.
Like,
it's like they're bringing up a reboot. There wouldn't need to be a reboot. You just continue on from where you left off. In a major new interview alongside his Mandalorian co-creator Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau reflected on his choice to bring our hero and his young ward back together. So again, this is another thing. This just goes to prove that Dan and Dave, or Dave and John, John and Dave Filoni, they were both working with and on Book of Boba Fett.
Right.
So while, yes, it might have been under like a certain showrunner or whatever, but they were working on it. They had their plans for the story from this. They were involved with it. You can't just go, oh no, they are responsible for all the bad stuff. No. They're gonna save Star Wars, right? No. They're just as guilty as a part of this as everyone else. So he said we couldn't just hit a hard reset. It's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds for people who may not have seen the Book of Boba Fett, which has been the thing. Nobody watched the damn show. So a lot of people are going, well, wait, at the end of season 2, Grogu left. So why is he back now? That's been a lot of questions for a lot of people. And it's just called, not everybody, probably a lot of people tapped out after like the first couple episodes of Boba Fett because of how bad it was.
I mean,
on top of it
was good. The memes were good.
The memes were good. The show was just garbage.
Memes were fantastic.
But I think Boba Fett offered time to pass. You saw that Mando was like, saw what Mando was like without Baby Yoda, and we saw that Grogu was like without the Mandalorian, and neither of them was doing too good. Yeah, with apparently the dork saber that has a mind of its own now. Which, I mean, it didn't seem to mind. It didn't seem to mind Moff Gideon at all. Moff Gideon didn't have trouble wielding it. But oh no, it because of this stupid little nebulous freaking sword, it just dies basically.
You're really gonna make the Sarlacc brains mad.
Good. And Grogu was just like, again, he just spammed a bunch of lessons, so naturally he wasn't going to be getting a lot of it, and Luke just seemed half retarded the whole time. So them coming back together was a really good plot point that allows us to jump back into season 3 while maintaining the central relationship. You were course correcting something that you realized you wrote yourself into a hole for, because the whole buildup was Mando taking this little brat, quote unquote, to his people. That was the point. That was his like mission that he was charged with in like even season 1, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, while the upcoming season restores the show's original dynamic, it was important that Grogu's time with Luke wasn't for nothing. It just ultimately wasn't his path. He says, I think you had to service both things, Favreau explains. Just because this kid has the potential and had training, does he belong away from Mandalorian? I saw it more like Paper Moon, where the whole thing is about delivering the kid to the blood relative, only to realize that whether genetically through her father or just through bonding, Tatum O'Neal has to end up with Ryan O'Neal. Okay. I don't know what that's about, but okay. Get it. That ending feels really good to me. And this little kid, Grogu, is given a decision to choose. Which again, instead of Luke evolving the Jedi, he's keeping him the freaking same. And the kid chooses the emotional relationship and wants to be with the Mandalorian and passing up Yoda's lightsaber. Part of you wants to see him develop in that way, and part the other. From his travels with Dim Jarhead to his time training with Luke and into Jake Skywalker, and into the future adventures of season 3 and beyond, it's all a case of building up character in Grogu unlike any other in the Star Wars galaxy. You have this interesting character who has Jedi training to some extent, Force abilities, but also is joining the Mandalorian culture, which we've established is something that you can opt into. It demands a lot. It offers a lot, says Favreau. Historically, Mandalorians developed all of those tools and armor and weapons to be able to counteract the Force abilities of Jedi. So as storyteller, this offers tremendous opportunity. Now can we see Grogu in tiny Beskar chainmail, please? Please no. Yeah, that was the quick little interview, I guess, with Favreau on Mandalorian season 3. It was just force-fed pushing Grogu back to Mando. That was basically what Book of Boba Fett did at the end of that series. It wasn't necessary. You could have written him in other directions. You could have followed up with this whole stupid God, I'm trying to think. Him gaining redemption with with his Mandalorian cult, with his certain cult, on regaining its honor for taking off his helmet and everything. And he didn't have to have the rat. You could have left him with Luke training there. You built up to it. That was the whole point of seasons 1 and 2, practically. And especially then to have the whole dynamic entrance with Luke Skywalker coming in and saving the day and then taking the little brat away, because supposedly that's where he was supposed to go, is with the Jedi. It was also pointless. It just makes that whole season 2 ending especially just pointless with what they did, with how quickly they resolved the whole matter and just brought him back into each other. It wasn't even like they had it as like a season long thing. Like, spent the whole season, Mando's off doing his thing, and maybe realizing there's a part of him that needs Grogu with him. Grogu, his training with Luke throughout that whole time, realizes, yes, he's got to go with being with the Mandalorian guy. But it was just 2 episodes, right? 2-3 episodes. And it's all resolved, done, washed away, no worries. Like we joked, it was, those Book of Boba Fett episodes, it was just Mando's season 3 first episodes, basically.
Yeah.
So they dropped the ball hard with that one. It didn't need to be, but oh well, because I would have I was interested a bit when I first heard about the early days of this project for The Mandalorian, when it was going to be, a bounty hunter out doing bounty hunting stuff, where we could have gotten to see more of the underworld. Instead, we get another Babysitters in Space, or kind of the beginning of Babysitters in Space, and goofy tracking fobs that make no sense and are never really explained. When you could have had this whole interesting dynamic for it. And I'm sure like people like Tim who have all the the player guides for the tabletop of Star Wars and all those like expanded lore books, you could have gone through those and you probably could have found a lot of cool like things for bounty hunting, tracking, and all the different technology that would have been available in that is available in the Star Wars universe that could have been used and integrated into the show instead of just the magic wand or the cold, hot tracking fob. You could have actually had him be a hunter and finding the different prey. Like it could have been just like, okay, this is the last known location of this target. There you go. Now go hunt them down. Instead, oh, here's the tracking fob. Just keep following it until it beeps enough and you found them. Like, no, in the freaking Star Wars Galaxies, the MMO, they had that better worked out for trying to do hunting for the missions and also for the Jedi and stuff too. When you could hunt Jedi, a lot better than the way it was handled in this freaking Book of Boba or the Mandalorian.
Well, how is it handled for those that haven't played?
Well, it was more of a matter of like needing to use tracking droids and stuff like that to, and like the hunter senses and stuff like that from the bounty hunter, all that sort of stuff. Like I think you even had to have like a bit of scouting and everything to be able to track and hunt down people. They made it more of a thing than just, hey, here's your little hot cold device.
Right. Lazy writing.
They really excel at it. And it's just disappointing considering you have a really great concept that you could really have fleshed out and made interesting. And instead, like everything else, they just drop the ball and make it dull as dishwater.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, well. Let's knock a cowboy hat out of the way next.
Ugh, my favorite.
Dave, I like jailbait Filoni on how the Clone Wars influences his storytelling on The Mandalorian. Things don't come to a perfect ending. As the Star Wars franchise has expanded in recent years, it becomes less a direct narrative, more a broad tapestry interweaving all kinds of stories and eras that crisscross over each other. From the Skywalker saga movies and Skywalker intersecting series like the Clone Wars and Rebels, new tales like the Mandalorian, and expansions like Rogue One. They wish they were Dark Forces. Andor, he wishes he was Kyle Katarn. Obi-Wan Kenobi, I forgot, did we have an alternative name for Obi-Wan for that show? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
And the Book of Dad Bod Fett, or I should say probably the Book of Fennec Shand. All of that, plus an array of canonical novels, comics, and video games have created video games. What video games? The only one that they've had really is the Jedi Fallen Order. Can't pluralize that. Have created an expansive canon with threads that tie various mediums together with characters that move seamlessly between them in one ever-growing timeline that they can't even keep consistent. The kind of continuous storytelling was a major feature of the Clone Wars and Rebels, which grew around the events established and where they ruined Thrawn. Events established in the prequel trilogy and beyond, and which Clone Wars alum Dave Filoni has brought into the so-called Mandoverse. Why does everything have to be a verse?
Oh, thank Disney for that.
And I guess. Take the pivotal season 2 finale in which Luke Skywalker reemerged to take Grogu under his wing. Quote, there's a big question at the end of season 2. What will Mando do next? So this is kind of reiterating some of the stuff that we got from the last article. Relationship over, blah, blah, blah. Major news. I think we can continue on, and your adventure continues every day. I used to think about it with the Clone Wars all the time. When is that battle over? When is the struggle over? Because it culminates in Revenge of the Sith. But that can't be the ending for that show, even though that's the ending of that era. That took a while to figure out. And I guess that's where he decided to do Bad Batch. But I mean, no, the story wasn't necessarily ended, but it certainly was ended for a lot of people. Establishing Luke in the Mandalorian timeline was a major punctuation mark in the story, but this is far from where the stories of Luke, Dim Jarhead, and Grogu end. I think that in some ways you want each season to have a feeling of an ending, but in a lot of what I've done, I don't like hard endings. Well, you can't seem to end anything, Dave. Certainly not characters. Like Ahsoka, she was supposed to. George wanted her dead.
Oh,
but you didn't do that one, did you, boyo? Probably held out as long as he could till Disney bought him up. Explains Filoni, I like reading books in a series and then thinking, oh, there's another book, and this is going to keep going. It's always sad for me when an adventure ends and the characters are seemingly done with their journey. Why? Why would you be sad? That'd be like, oh, that was, you'd more reflect on that was a great story. You'd be glad for like a happy ending. Your character, especially for like a favorite character, they made it out alive. They got the girl at the end or whatever. They saved the princess and kicked the dragon's ass, sort of thing. Why be sad? I mean, yeah, you can look at it as like you don't have more stories to go off of, but I mean, if it came to a good conclusion, there's nothing to be sad about. I guess that's me. It does suck when books have a shitty ending and you're like, wow, that could have been done a lot
Deceived.
better. Well, then Deceived just continues in Sutor.
I need a book. Okay. At the rate that we're going, it's going to take forever to get through it.
I know.
I haven't even seen Nalgus yet.
I know. Yeah.
So write a book. I don't care who it is. I actually do care who it is. James Lucina, write a book. Paul Kemp, write it. Somebody write it.
Let's see. Seemingly done with the journey. So I think there's always that little bit of hope that something can continue. Well, that's where sometimes you get into bad territory, though, where the story just feels like what a lot of this feels like fan fiction. You can't always keep a story going. It has to come to an end and be done, and that's it. That is certainly, I mean, I've certainly learned that lesson myself after seeing like some of my favorite manga come back. Like the fact that they brought back Dragon Ball via Dragon Ball Super, or the Naruto manga brought back via freaking Boruto. And I don't really like how Naruto ended, but I don't like how it's been continuing. Little things like that, you don't always need things to continue. They've had their ending, they've had their time. Now let it rest. You don't need to continue it anymore. You had their stories. Awesome.
Are you excited that Samuel L. Jackson's coming back to reprise his role as Mace?
Shut up. With season 3 incoming and Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew, and more on the way, the journey is far from over. Dave, go. Just I can't say it, but
Kids show,
can't say it, but kindly just remove yourself from Star Wars, please. Can we find anyone? God, it's like I would put.
Who would you take?
I mean, that's just it. Like it is. It's like, who would I put? I mean, if I could, I'd put people like Tim or Alora in their place.
Yeah.
They may not be writer. I don't know. I mean, I know Laura does her art and stuff like that, but it's like in terms of writing and everything, I don't know. But it's just like, dude, at least they could keep things under control.
Yeah. And
they know a lot of the lore. So, hello there, Dr. Mad Studio. Welcome.
To go.
Welcome into the chat. Hello, folks. Greetings from Britain. Oh my, across the pond there. Very nice, very nice. Hope you're having a great evening or morning.
Dave just needs to go.
Guys. What's that?
Dave needs to go.
Yeah, Filoni needs to go.
Favreau
needs to go. Favreau's an idiot. Look at everything we went over for Mandalorian season 1. And this is, I don't know if I brought this up during our re-review, or I had to say re-review, but our review of Mando season 1. I don't know if I brought this up in any of the other streams or then, but it's like at the end, or like the finale and everything, you had Moff Gideon that names Dim Jarhead. For a guy that was not captured, but brought in and inducted to the Mandalorians at a young age of 10, and has been technically probably behind a helmet through most of his life. How did he know his name? How did he know who this specific Mandalorian guy was? And especially that he had at that point upgraded his armor. He didn't technically have a lot of the same look, especially in being all shiny and silver. And so how does he know exactly who this specific Mandalorian it was if he hasn't already removed his helmet or was for some reason in the Imperial database?
Right.
It's like, what the? How do you get by that? And then, of course, the stupidity in season 2 with him just, you just need a face to scan and pass.
You just, ugh. It's like I just blah 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 blah. That's all I can say is just blah blah blah. Let's take off the helmet and then gain access to an Imperial outpost.
Yeah, just like that. Or the Imperial
This guy's
database.
never worked for it, never has no ties to the Empire.
And I don't. That's what gets me. It's like there's.
You think Gideon put him in the system?
But I mean, I would. That was my thought. But then again, how did he get an adult facial scan of him to be in the system?
The same way that Serial Guy had.
And then if that's true, and Gideon knew that this guy could be potentially coming after him, why wouldn't there be an alert into the system when he gets his face scanned? Why wouldn't there be like a call out or something directly to him, letting him know that he's trying to access Imperial systems or is being entered into the Imperial system?
Unless he knew that Bo-Katan was after him. And somehow he wanted to plot him against Bo-Katan. So instead of alerting it, he just basically played the whole, brought him to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of no difference than Vader did to Luke. Bring him. I'm gonna basically let him come to me, but make sure he gets here, type thing. If Bo-Katan
but
was
it didn't seem.
Do that.
But it didn't seem like he wanted Dim Jarhead to come after him. He was trying to escape with the little rat. So
I don't know. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of is if like he knew Bo was going to come after him for the Darksaber, and I mean, he doesn't really have to worry about implication because it's the Empire. Like he could kill Bo and not have to worry about anything. But maybe he wanted to not get his hands dirty and have turn Mando against her and have him take out his light work. I don't know. I mean, this is the thing. It's only plausible. Like you sit and think about it. Like what else makes sense? Why is somebody who has no ties to the Empire able to walk into an Imperial outpost, take off a helmet, and have a facial recognition and gain access?
Yeah.
Like the only thing that makes sense is if that information was one given to him. So he has what? And then you say, well, how did he get an adult face? Like probably the same way that Oops All Burial Serial Guy from Andor was able to get Andor's face. So now try to get, you know what I mean?
Right.
Track him and get a facial, hologram of him. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, no other paths make any sense other than Gideon basically pulled a play out of Vader's, well, you know what I mean, whole Vader's card and had Vader, basically let him led Mando to him while ensuring that he was. I don't know, but again, the only difference is like there was a shootout, and so like there was a shootout in Bespin, but they weren't intentionally, I don't think, trying to kill Luke. They were trying to goat him into getting to Vader. They were bringing him to the trap. These guys are just a straight out brawl. So again, that doesn't make sense in the sense that like if Gideon was trying to lead Mando to him, why was there just a brawl? Right. But again, he probably didn't bank on the fact that what's his name, Burr, was gonna, whatever his name was gonna smoke Lieutenant Wright at the table. So I don't know. I mean, how else is he gonna get in there? It doesn't make any sense.
No, none of it makes it look
unless somebody gave him access to it. And Bo-Katan doesn't have she has no ties.
No, she's not gonna have top access.
Yeah,
the
right.
Empire slaughtered the Mandalorians, getting rid of them.
That's what I'm saying. Like, who else has access to the armor? No,
there's
nobody. Is Gina Carano's character? No,
no.
Like, who was it? Bird didn't have time. Like, who would have given access to him?
No, it was all set up just so freaking Pedro Pascal could take off his helmet and be shown in this freaking.
No. Listen, Sheev used the world between worlds.
Oh God,
because he wanted the Darksaber, so he chose a door, went back, changed the whole, gave him access to the system, so he could later try to get the Darksaber from Moff Gideon. Because we all know Sheev loves lightsabers and never at one time used it to mock the Jedi.
Oh, Sheev.
Makes no sense. I mean, when you really think about it.
I'm trying to find something. God dang it. No. I mean, there's like a morbid curiosity too with all this dumb stuff in Mandalorian. It's like, where are they gonna go? What is gonna happen with season 3? It's like, it's bad enough we got
the bathtub
Jawa banger back.
What's your favorite character?
Shut up, you. Do you want me to remind you what they did to Thrawn?
No, thank you.
Oh, God. But, okay, so as I'm trying to search for something else, this suddenly cropped up. Let me just also check something really quick. Okay, I guess it's... So, apparently... Jedi Survivor's data disk has some resemblance to Holodisk as seen in Rebels and Dark Forces Jedi Knight. So again, it seems like they are biting off some more from Legends. They don't want to openly acknowledge it.
Oh no.
I didn't even think of Rebels. I had no idea that they had anything resembling this in that Katarn has. But apparently there's some other trash pandas digging around in the EU dumpster where they threw everything. Funny how they want to start to bring in this sort of content. It's like, really? So now you suddenly want to be acknowledging it? Wow. Okay. But, you won't actually have a proper Kyle Katarn character. You're just going to have a bunch of crappy knockoffs and wannabes and stuff like that. It's not like you're going to actually have the proper character, which, thank God. In the end, considering what you've done to other established characters, I'm really glad that you won't bring them in.
They're all trash pandas, every single one of them.
Every freaking one of them. I'm trying to see in this video too where this parent data disk is being shown. Because I'm just not. Oh, here it is. So yeah, data disk found. So you will be on the hunt for data disks apparently in Jedi Survivor.
Ugh.
Can we stop the trash pandas in some way, please? Can we just stop them from?
I'm like just over it. I'm over it. I'm over like it just I don't get it, man. That's all it's all it is. It's just one massive just
it's trash, yeah. It's all just trash.
I wonder if I wonder what university Dave went. Oh, I think I read an article where Dave.
These are us. I don't know.
No, he went to it was PU University.
I believe it.
Just I don't know. It's just all it. And if here's the thing, like you sit here and you can't tell the resemblance between like what I use the word create loosely and EU,
yeah.
like you.
Well, and what's paying homage and what's just pure and simply just ripping off
and just lazy, like
and just lazy.
Andor, and again, you get heated when I say it, but Andor was a rip off Kyle Katarn.
No, I agree with you.
If
I don't like it, but I agree with you.
I'd say a rip. I mean, it's their version.
He's a low rent Kyle Katarn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you know what? This is another thing. You know how like with Andor, since you brought that up, how everybody wanted to say, "Oh, Andor, such an adult. It's an adult. It's a grown up show. It's not the kids' Star Wars or anything like that." I got something for you. I got something. Oh Christ! Now that I'm here we are. I don't remember seeing this in Andor. Did you?
No. Surely.
Like EU Commando says, this is pretty graphic for Star Wars. And this is from the Dark Forces, soldier for the Empire. Poor Kyle Katarn's dad met with a messy fate. But Star Wars is just for kids. Andor was the first grown-up thing for Star Wars. So for any of those tools out there, you can fuck right off.
Well, and that's the thing. Is what's so fun is like on one side it's like they don't know anything about Star Wars and they don't take the time to read or they don't know about
nothing, no research at all.
But then they do this kind of stuff, like where they just steal, where they're stealing from Legends, and it's not ironic. It's not a coincidence. Like they create a character that's Cassian Andor that was with another person who stole the Death Star plans when we know in EU the true canon, the only I'm not going to say true canon, like the only canon, it was Kyle Katarn and Jan Ors.
That's right.
So it's ironic and convenient that like you say that Cassian Andor and Jen Erso were the ones that came up with the original Death Star plans.
Damn right they were.
But it's just like, so they know nothing about Legends and they don't read anything, but they basically take the story from Legends and fit it into their box
Right.
And it's just it's so stupid. It's like why not just it's just we've talked about for 59 shows. It's like you have the blueprint, you have the ability to do so much and make, decent stuff if you just followed the plan and followed the blueprint. And it's not like, it doesn't mean that you're not good if you do it. It just means that, I don't know, man. I just, I think they're pissed that they'll never be able to be on the same level as George.
No,
I think that's what it comes down to.
They won't be able to live up what
know
the creator
that they'll
did.
never be able to surpass him. So, in knowing that they're not able to do that, they want nothing to do with him and what he created, and they want to create their own stuff. And in hopes by doing so, they'll somehow surpass him. But you're not going to. Like that, there's a tweet that I lost my mic. There's a tweet that I put out a couple weeks ago. It was a comparison. It was a shot between Vader and Luke on Bespin and Obi-Wan and Kenobi. Obi-Wan and Kenobi. Oh my goodness. Obi-Wan and Vader on the Kenobi show. And you just saw just the difference. The lighting, the graph. I mean, this was done in 80. When did Empire come out? 80.
Oh God.
4? Was it 84?
Hang on, the Jedi was 83.
It's close. 83. Came out in 83. But let me find this tweet because because I was pretty heated when I put it out, because I was like, anybody who thinks that Kenobi is a good, stands up against, I'm pulling it up. Give me a minute. Since I tweet every single day,
You're so active on the Twitters.
Oh, here it is. It only took me 5 seconds to find. All right. Let me drop this in Discord. All right. Did it drop? Let's see. I don't know. Do you see it?
Huh? Sorry.
Do you see it? I'm not seeing it.
No, I haven't seen you brought it up yet.
Why? Won't my Discord pop up? Do you see it in Discord?
Oh, hang on.
Oh, here. Well, you pulled up in Discord.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
Got it.
I was trying to.
All right.
I don't know if I want to do tab or share entire screen.
I always do tab, personally, just so it doesn't show everything else.
Yeah.
So DSW has absolutely zero passion for the projects they create, and by create I mean pillage, ransack from canon and EU. They deemed quote unquote legends that they wanted nothing to do with, and they call their own. They call it their own. Disagree with me? Sheep Talks brings up an excellent point. Compare the two.
Oh, it's not loading.
Yeah, I know.
There you go. So
on the left, we have the well-composed shot. Yeah, well-composed shot with a brilliant lighting that makes for striking and imposing imagery, with the light coming from behind to cement the characters as silhouettes. On the right, we have a darkly lit shot of two characters we wouldn't even be able to see.
Behind a California Mexican restaurant, by the way, just so you're aware. Like this in 83 versus this in 2022.
Yep.
Like
it's night and day.
What was the budget for Empire Strikes Back? What was the budget for Kenobi? And again, here's the thing. It doesn't matter that Empire was a movie and Kenobi was a series, and the budget doesn't really make a whole lot of difference in regards to this was done in 83.
Well, it's
2022.
It's key to another thing we've talked about, and like you kind of brought up with your comment, but it's like it's again the difference of people with passion
Yeah.
for the creative business versus people that are just there to collect a paycheck.
Well,
Just
it's like, well, we
there
didn't have
to get to get Star Wars on their resume. That's all it is. It's not to be there to actually, want to do something of value or anything like that, to put their creative endeavors to the test. No, it's none of that.
It's like, well, we didn't have. You're talking about Lucas had a $1 million budget or whatever his budget was. It's like you could have gone to Home Depot or Lowe's and got lights and threw them out there. Like you could have,
yeah, exactly.
The whole argument on the budget thing doesn't hold any water because again, this was done in 1983 and this was done in 2022. So you do the math. How many years between? And you're telling me that the technology from 83 to 22 hasn't advanced in the slightest, where you, like, if anything, it should be better.
Right.
The graphics,
absolutely. Absolutely. It should.
So, like, to your point, like, it's just about resume, a paycheck, and accolades. But that's just it's mind-boggling. And you think the more that we, the more, maybe when we get to episode 60, it'll finally set in and we'll be like, we'll just expect this. But every time that I actually, we sit down and talk about it, like, I still get frustrated to this day because it's like, it's just ridiculousness. It's like, they've bastardized Star Wars. And those people out there that like claim to be like true George Lucas fans and actually like what Disney's doing, like, that makes zero sense to me.
Amazingly, there are.
And then to sit there and say like, and then there's people out there like, well, I love George Lucas, and this was actually George's vision. The path that Disney's going down right now with Favreau and Filoni, I've heard people say that's exactly what George wanted. The episode of Cad Bane and Book of Boba, he's like, well, that's exactly what George wanted because George loved Westerns.
Yeah, I know the that's why I can all I can just look to and ask about and refer to is, okay, so just give me an interview where he says that. Give me an interview where he's stated as such, because otherwise you're just rumor and innuendo, and you don't have actual give me a recording, him actually saying it, not some AI fake stuff. Give me an actual video recording of the man saying just that, because I could point to more where I have video where we have a video clip of George saying that his Star Wars is his 6 movies. That's it. Beyond that, no, it's not Star Wars. Like he said, it got out of his hands. It's no longer, he lost control of it at some point, and it's just no longer his baby. So his 6 movies are that, and not the Disney shit. So take is that what you will, because I got that. I don't got your I would love to be that's just it. We've talked about this in previous episodes. I would love to be a fly on the wall at Lucasfilm, hearing
I think
everything that's going on. Huh?
I honestly think that, like, there are no meetings between, like, there's no office. I think honestly they all get their Starbucks and Zoom via Zoom. Like they all have meetings via Zoom. I don't think they actually go to an office. I think they probably are in a group chat via text, like a group text.
Possibly.
John and Favreau.
Possibly. Hey, Sentinel again. His 6 movies at the time Star Wars was sold in 2012. Yeah, his 6 movies at the time Star Wars was sold in 2012. Disney could still tinker with them down the line. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I've heard Alora and Tim talk about that, how, they're more trying to mold the other movies. The way they're molding the other movies is to also then retcon by proxy the OT and stuff. So while they're making their movies and TV shows, they're laying this little groundwork, which is how we got like the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. They're, by using some, maybe quote vague language or whatever, but That's how they feel they can get away with having Obi-Wan and Vader duel for another time, and then go, oh yeah, this is what they're referring to, when we know the truth. But they're messing around with things in other ways. They are trying to retcon the original trilogy and stuff like that. I'm just still waiting for them to do a flat out remake. That's what I'm waiting for that announcement any day.
I think they're a lot like China, man. They're trying to, the whole China spy balloon they're testing. I think Disney did
it's definitely part of the Mao's Communist Manifesto and stuff, was to get rid of the four olds, and I forget each and every one, but I mean culture and stuff is one of them, and also just history, and that's get rid of Lucas, get rid of Star Wars, get rid of Lucas's Star Wars, or
just wait until we all die. Wait until Lucas dies and we all die.
Yeah, that's
so important.
Sentinel says that's why 2012-14 is going to become like a ode date, the point where we distinguish the death of Star Wars. Yeah, basically. I mean, you could even say 2008 with the thanks of Filoni and the Clone Wars and what damage that did to the expanded universe and the Mandalorians and all that stuff.
I just want to know, what dirt did Kathleen Kennedy have on George to force him to sell Star Wars? I genuinely want to know.
Makes you wonder, right?
I want to know.
No, I would be very, again, to be a fly on the wall in those buildings at that time. I would.
It wasn't that George needed a paycheck, like $4 billion. I mean, that's pretty stingy for,
I mean, for what problems we all had with the Clone Wars and stuff, it was bringing in its audience. It was selling. They were still selling plenty of toys and stuff like that. So
yeah,
George wasn't hurting.
No. So it was either like, well, I need something to fund the rest of my movies that I want to do and not have to go to a bank. And I don't know, man, but I just, boy, howdy to see. And here's the thing, even though he sold it, like, it's still his. It doesn't, like, they might own the IP.
Yeah, illegally they own it, but
there's not a person
spiritual sense. It's his baby still.
There's not a person on this planet other than probably these indoctrinated Disney shows that don't associate Star Wars with George. It's the same thing with Star Trek and Gene Roddenberry. Like, there's not a person on the planet that doesn't think, when they don't think Star Trek, they, you do not make that comparison. So to see what they've done with it. And I'm very curious if, I've said it and I've kind of gone back and forth, but like, is Star Wars dead?
Well, we've talked about this. I'd say Disney Star Wars is dead. I'd say the expanded universe still lives on.
Yeah.
The books are still out there. The comics are still out there, whether it's digital or otherwise. The video games are still out there that you can go and get. You can still rewatch the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy. It's all still there.
Yeah.
And you have there are the resources out there to hunt that stuff down. And like I said, I'd say for like the comic books, that's gonna be a pain. Books too, but for now they haven't messed with the books. Comics a little bit tougher, but I mean, there are places online where you can find and read them online for free. So you don't have to try and hunt them down and buy them and stuff like that. Cause I can believe me, it's a challenge, especially to find them at a decent price. It's kind of tough, especially complete collections.
That's why you go to mom and pop comic book shops.
And then, absolutely hunt out your local mom and pop comic shops and bookstores and stuff like that to find old books, get those deals where you can. And because I'd say the expanded universe, and like it is too, I keep mentioning the video games. If you wanted to experience like Star Wars Galaxies, the emulated servers are out there. You can go and find them and play on a server that fits your play style the best. I have 3 different ones that I've kind of checked out and am kind of bouncing between and, keeping an eye on here and there. So you still have ways of experiencing some of this old content that's not gone anywhere. And then, right, if anything, now it's probably the best time because there's a storyline that is set. You don't have to worry about it expanding or anything like that. And then it's just kind of left up to you if you want to kind of make your own canon out of it and what you want sprinkled in your Star Wars universe, in your proper Star Wars universe. Right. So I mean, that aspect, it's still alive and well. It just unfortunately has been tarnished a bit thanks to the mouse, but that's where you can, that's left up to you to make that separation of the two and still enjoy the proper Star Wars and just let the Disney Star Wars be what it is. That's what I've done. Like, I can still boot up, the prequels and the proper Tartakovsky Clone Wars and the original trilogy and still enjoy the shit out of watching those. While I don't even go near Disney stuff. I don't have it on a heart. I don't even have like the riff tracks that would be making fun of those movies. None of that. I couldn't watch them anymore.
Yeah.
In no capacity because they are just garbage tier stuff. So yeah, I don't have that. No, why would I? So I'd say, there's a lot of apathy and stuff like that, and just kind of people just meh on Disney Star Wars. And that's where you yourself just got to make that distinction. There's Lucas's Star Wars, Disney Star Wars. Separate the two, and you're good. I understand that they did a lot of damage, believe me, but you can make that separation and distinction and still enjoy what you fell in love with.
1000%. Yeah.
So there was also the gentleman that was here in earlier. I don't know if Brandon Tran is still in there. I have the clip of Jedi Survivor of showing some of the dismemberment. I already kind of listened to it really quick, and I don't want to hear the IGN soy boy. But we do get to see some of that dismemberment, which comes up with the stormtroopers here. Boom.
Still not as good as Jedi Outcast.
Well, in Jedi Outcast Academy, you kind of had to still input a cheat command to do it.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
I remember being on Arshada and going against the
either Academy that had to put the input code, or
I think it was Academy, because I remember going to Arshada and being able to you go into the bar,
but yeah, I mean, the thing is though, with Jedi Survivor, while that's great that they've added in dismemberment, that's cool and all, it's still acting a bit like a baseball bat or a Nerf bat lightsaber. It's still taking multiple whacks to take these opponents down. It's just not like the old Jedi Outcast or Academy.
Well,
when you slice somebody, you slice them dead.
Yeah, but somebody's gonna argue with you saying like, "Well, the game would be too easy," and I would argue
that's load right there.
Do you remember fighting? Was it Tavion from?
Oh God, Tavion, Dasan. I mean, both of them could be a Dasan, especially with a pain.
Here's the thing: if I had not used the bubble cheat, like I think I was texting you. I don't know when we played on a Sunday or Friday. I think on a Sunday after the show, or I don't know. But I'd re-downloaded Outcast and I was fighting Tavion, and bro, I got pwned in the first. I didn't last 45 seconds against her. Like, I kept dying and I was getting pissed. And then
no, she can be kind of a pain in the neck.
No,
not gonna lie.
Was it
last time I was playing? I think I got some good strikes and took her.
Who was it? Galen? Was it Galen? Who was the?
That's Force Unleashed. Galen Merrick.
Who's the guy that you play that you fight in Outcast? No, is it Academy? In the robot suit.
Oh, that was Outcast. Yeah, the guy in the robot suit. Oh, Admiral Fire.
I don't know why I said Galen Merrick. Yeah, Fire. That guy wasn't as tough as Tavion, but he was still a real peach. And then Desan, dude, Desan literally.
Desan destroyed me so many dang times. And then I think I got like a crazy strike on him. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. That's what it's. Dude, if you want to see it, it's on the Fractured Filter. I think I have it set in a playlist for my Jedi Outcast playthrough. You can check it out there and watch the journey, because those ones I think I edited down. So
literally, I walked into the temple where Desan was, and he threw his lightsaber and killed me. It was the most disrespectful death I've ever
experienced.
Yeah, like so. I say that all to say, like, well, the game would be too much easier, or the game would be easier if they no, you haven't played Outcast, you haven't played Academy. Even some of the people, like the enemies that the freaking are they the Swamp Troopers?
Yeah,
Death Troopers?
Swamp Troopers.
Oh man, they're not nice, guy. Like, yeah. I think there's even people where, like, if you I would dismember somebody, and I was on Nar Shaddaa, which is my favorite. Now, oh my goodness, like chef's kiss, my favorite map of all time on Outcast is Nar Shaddaa. I think you're in I don't know, you're inside the garbage. I don't know what you call where you find Lando. And
yeah. On Nar Shaddaa.
I think I cut one guy's arm off, and he was still shooting at me. So it's just to show you that, like, you can have, your lightsaber can still be a lightsaber, but still make stuff challenging. Because
absolutely,
you cut one guy's arm off, and the arm that you just chopped off had a thermal detonator in his hand, and you missed it by force. Because I would always force push the thermals away from me. Well, I didn't hit it right, and blew his arm away, but got blown up by a thermal. So I think when you look at, like, when I think of Fallen Order, I don't think of the story. I think of the Wiffle Bat.
Yeah.
I don't think of the story. I don't think of the Zenvo or Zepho or whatever. I don't think of the Night Sister. Like, the only thing I think about is the Wiffle Bat.
Right.
Like, it's pretty sad when you're playing a game and you get destroyed by some rat creature because you have a Wiffle Bat lightsaber that doesn't kill him off one strike.
Exactly. No, I agree with you 100%, man.
You know what I'm thinking? Maybe his lightsaber maybe it was in safety mode, child mode.
Or like the Bad Batch's blasters always in stun.
Yeah,
always on a stun
it's actually
setting.
A stun baton. It's not a lightsaber. That makes more sense.
Always on a stun setting. Oh boy. Well, so here's another little thing that we had on the list.
We missed the Tim was cracked me up last night. Not that I'm trying to go over all the stuff that he was going over, because this stuff, like, some of the stuff I want to go over, but the Chubka, so he misspelled Chewbacca. I don't know if he did it on purpose. Did you see?
I wasn't watching it. I was listening, so I don't remember him.
Someone named Chubka memorabilia. But that whole thing was funny.
Here's the Star Wars next movie gets announcement update, supposedly. But we know how many times they've announced something new and then it's gone away or been canceled or whatever. But let's see here. Over on the direct, a new report revealed when Star Wars fans will finally learn about Disney's future movie plans after over 3 years away from theaters. Well, they've been on the small screen, and certainly that's been more than pain enough. Alongside the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Lucasfilm and its Star Wars galaxy have been at the forefront of the House of Mouse's streaming efforts on Disney Plus. However, this shifted focus has seen the studio leave behind its roots on the big screen, with the last theatrical release coming in 2019's Rise of Palpatine. That's not to say Lucasfilm hasn't been trying to get back into theaters, but the studio has certainly been struggling, having cycled through countless creatives in recent years to develop projects only for them to never materialize. Yeah, and like hiring on directors, firing directors, and stuff like that, rewriting, reshooting. Yeah, they haven't been having a great track record for trying to keep anything together over there. Yet there has been progress on Lucasfilm's movie front, apparently, with rumors pointing towards a theatrical flick entering pre-production as soon as April or May. But what does pre-production really mean? I mean, come on. Is that actually getting to shooting, or you still having the cast and you're just doing storyboarding and stuff like that? So what does that really mean? But which flick this will be is unclear, with separate projects in the works from Damon Lindelof, Taika Waititi, Kevin Feige, Rian Johnson, and more. Rian Johnson will finally get his trilogy. New report from the Hollywood Reporter explored how Disney is rethinking its current franchise output from Marvel and Star Wars. Within the said article, the outlet noted that Lucasfilm is expected to unveil its future movie plans for the galaxy far, far away as its Star Wars celebration. So this is a big nothing burger, because we don't even have anything for real. Yeah, they're just talking about now the previously announced Rogue Squadron movie by Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins may never materialize, according to THR. Apparently Lindelof's project is in development. And yeah, all the season 3 for Mando, all that stuff. However, THR adds that while Lucasfilm may ramp up its content output, it will have to abide by the same fiscal discipline as the rest of the company. So this is kind of a bunch of what ifs. What will Star Wars announce at 2023 Celebration? Star Wars currently has untitled movies set for release December 19th, 2025. So we're a couple of years away. And December 17th, 2027. Based on development status of the currently announced projects, these will likely end up being the untitled movies from Watchmen writer Damon Lindelof and Thor: Love and Thunder director Taika Waititi. Bob Iger now back in place as Disney CEO. Star Wars movies will likely be more of a focus going forward. Lovely. Both the projects could finally receive more formal announcement at Celebration to show that to audiences. Well, they need something to really hype themselves up, because from what I've been hearing, at least, Bad Batch hasn't been moving the needle very much. At least certainly from what Raging Rhino has been reporting when he talks about how his Bad Batch reviews have been doing. They certainly haven't been bringing out quite the Disney, as many of the seals as like Andor did.
Yeah.
When for his comment section and stuff like that, it seems to be kind of a meh from a lot of people. And I mean, we kind of are on the like, yeah, it's a meh series for this second season, especially. So just kind of on top of finally getting a sense of the Star Wars theatrical direction, Lucasfilm may have updates to offer Disney Plus series, Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew, Vision Season 2 undoubtedly receive sizable focus, while shows such as Andor Season 2 and Lando may still be too far out for any news. I didn't know about a Lando show, but all right. I'm sure that'll be fantastic. He'll be humping his droid. Whatever the case, Celebration will certainly be an exciting time. Yeah, because we'll have Drag Event. especially if this report pulls through and Lucasfilm does finally pull back the curtain on this theatrical plans in the galaxy far, far away. We know how quickly they change their plans and ideas and stuff like that. And so Lordy knows if we're going to actually see anything of substance from this. This is just probably, I mean, they definitely need to have their celebration be something big, because they need something of positive hype and buzz of any kind, because they don't have it right now. Mando season 3 might bring that, just because of the damn baby rat. But yeah, I mean, they really, really need something to give some oomph back. But other than going quiet for a good while, I don't know what they could do.
Yeah,
it's kind of like with, sometimes with in wrestling, you need a character to go away for a while, and then with the character being gone for X amount of time, it makes the heart grow fonder for them, right? So then it's like called, okay, now it's time to return, when people are really clamoring for it. So I mean, that could be one way, but otherwise, celebration this year is sounding like it's going to be a dumpster fire.
It's like Top Gun, where because you lost that love and feeling. They've lost it. There's no bringing it back. There's no coming back from what they've done.
No, not without a whole major restructuring and stuff like that.
There's no amount of time you can wait. There's no, I mean, aside from literally getting rid of Kennedy, Favreau, Filoni, you'd have to get rid of Iger, because I think Iger may not. I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, Lucas is separate from Disney, but it's still owned by Disney.
You would need to get it out from under Disney.
You'd literally, yeah. So maybe, dude, honestly, I was thinking about this. Elon bought maybe he could buy Disney.
I don't think Elon would be any better for Star Wars than what Bob Iger and Disney have done. Personally, I don't think he would. I don't
know. That's a bold claim.
He's not. I don't think he's the golden boy that everybody's wanting him to be. See, I got Sentinel on my side.
No, I just really don't like Disney. I think anybody.
No, I am with you on that, and believe me, if
find Apple can buy them.
If I somehow got more money than Disney, I know I would certainly do my best to buy it out from them and get Star Wars away from them.
That's what people have. I've heard this. Not like I'm being honest. I've heard a lot of people say that Apple. Well, I know for a fact Apple has enough more money than Disney, and they could buy Disney over 10 times over. I do know that's true from a financial standpoint. But what about Apple buying out Disney or buying out?
I don't like Apple any more than I don't like Disney.
Well, that's because you're an Android guy and you don't have a real phone.
Well, I don't like their proprietary services. No, I like the freedom to stretch.
You like to jailbreak stuff.
Well, but I don't.
No. Those are your options.
You have to wait until Star Wars is worthless to Disney, and then you buy it, or have someone who respects George Lucas era Star Wars buy it. Then you shelve it for a decade, get the grifters off. Yeah.
Sentinel, you were in the Space last night. I saw you. What if so Tim was talking about doing a GoFundMe for Laura to get a door. What if we did a GoFundMe to buy out Star Wars?
Big old crowdfunded project to get Star Wars out from Disney.
Like we
God,
get a bunch of us.
No, I think he's right though. You'd have to wait for Star Wars to be completely worthless to Disney, to where they are.
The
problem is Star Wars will always make some form of money one way or another. That's the problem, because people will still go to the theme parks and stuff like that.
I'm going to do a poll on Twitter right now. Who would participate in a GoFundMe to buy out Star Wars from Lucas, or to buy out Star Wars from Disney? I'm probably gonna get 4 votes, and it's gonna be you, my mom, my grandma, and my dog. But
and
like,
it also says, then you bring it back by reintroducing it to an entire new generation, along with the EU as it was prior to Filoni's involvement. The Filoni connections can easily be retconned where found. Absolutely. Absolutely, you can. You can edit. You can remove names and stuff like that. You can pull a Stalin and start erasing people from photos and stuff like that. That's all you have to do. You don't have to include all that shit. And I know I certainly wouldn't. I would. Oh my god, if I got, I might actually. Maybe we should save that for next week of what we would do if Star Wars was in our hands. Because
let's do it.
Ooh,
that's a good stuff.
Yeah,
that's a good segue.
Yeah. So. So shall we call it there?
I think so.
All right. Well, I want to say a big thank you, Sentinel, for dropping by and being in the chat. It's been a while. Dr. Mad Studio, thank you for dropping in. Brandon Tran, you were hanging out for a little bit there. Appreciate it. We've been having viewers in and out here on the YouTube side, which has been
You're working
awesome.
your magic, because all I have are graphic designers.
We have 2 people currently over on Odyssey. Hello, Odyssey. Thank you for watching us. Rumble has been great as well. We've been having up to about 6 people on Rumble at one point. It's been awesome. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys have been enjoying the show. And remember, hit that like, share out the stream and stuff like that. It's been great.
Oop. Do it for Mara Jade.
Do it for Mara Jade. And it's very unfortunate that George never instructed his son Jet on how to handle Star Wars after his death, like J.R.R. Tolkien did with Christopher Tolkien. Christopher Tolkien, though, it seems to be a very special exception too. Like, he was holding on strong to that franchise and to that series. Absolutely. He was like that. He was the extra guard to Lord of the Rings and everything, to that whole mythos and everything.
Amazon, man.
Oh, good Lord.
They were,
man, that they've just done they have done damage so quickly and comparably to what Disney has done in shorter time. It is astounding.
You done messed up, Ron.
Yeah, it done goofed big time. But yeah, Lucas definitely needed to find a better person to hand the reins off to. But not everybody's up to that task.
Yeah.
So anyway, thanks again for everybody joining in. It was fun. I had a blast. We'll see you next week. Maybe same bat time, same bat channel, back to 4 p.m. or maybe early again. Who knows? We'll see. We might change things up. So with that, I say goodnight. What do you say?
I was gonna say just recovering from this last week, but if I'm awake, I'm down for shenanigans, but I've been sleeping. I've been battling fatigue.
Yeah. I wasn't going to be mentioning shenanigans. So.
You're good. We're tired.
We'll
if
talk
it happens,
about
it
it.
happens. Yeah. So,
other
than that, check out Twitter. We got to figure out, are you going to be doing any streaming this week?
Yeah.
Deus Ex?
I'm possibly some more Deus Ex, but also I was contemplating picking up Like a Dragon Ishin, which is
Dark Forces.
A game called
Republic Commando.
Yeah, I finished Republic Commando.
Okay.
I just haven't finished Mysteries of the Sith yet.
Oh, okay.
I was getting my butt kicked by Darkside Mara Jade.
Oh yeah.
But I was thinking of picking up Like a Dragon Ishin, which is a game set in feudal Japan using the cast of if you're familiar with the Yakuza games, basically using the cast of those games to fill in for characters that are a part of the storyline of that. So I was thinking of picking that game up and doing it as a Rumble exclusive gaming stream. Yeah.
Incentivizing Rumble.
Yeah, so keep an eye out. I'm debating that one. That might become a thing, and That'll be probably Tuesday night when the game comes out. I'll do a Tuesday night stream, and then maybe during my 2 days off.
Hold on, this is more really quickly. This is important. Are you gonna pay? Are you gonna charge for people to comment?
Absolutely not. It's free to chat.
Good man. Good man.
Absolutely. All right. Good night, everybody. Y'all have a good one.
What is thy bidding, my master?
Yeah, I should have known from the very beginning. From what you said. Yeah, when the mega powers were formed. Yeah, what you were out for from the very beginning. Yeah, you were after what was mine. I remember what you said.
You can destroy the Emperor. Join me. Together, we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
Yeah, that one was rough. Those words right there. Yeah, I got stuck, yeah, but I swallowed it anyway. Didn't like the taste, but I swallowed it anyway, yeah. But I remember the time when there was a conquistador out of the ring. The one that's so jealous that he can't stand it, yeah. Yeah, you came in there with your poses, yeah, but you made a big idiot out of yourself, yeah. And speaking of idiot things, what about that stupid idea? Did you forget that one? Think back. That right there sealed your fate. Yeah, that put the madness over the edge. But I'll tell you what felt even better, yeah, was in the dressing room, in the first aid room. Me being unselfish, yeah, said go ahead, do the thing, yeah. You won't steal my thunder, no. When you take a look at the madness's eyes, all you're gonna see is complete and utter